नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतिरवनचारे यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनतिरवनचारे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। So the title for today's discussion is The Ultimate Perfection. And like all the other sessions, this session is also dedicated to the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. As I begin today's discussion, which marks the culmination of this year's Gita course, I would like to remember all the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, all the teachings of my spiritual masters and all the other teachers, and to express my gratitude for them and invoke their blessings. I would like to chant some invocation prayers. Those who know, please join me in chanting them. Those who don't, please hear it attentively. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padikamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Giram Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So the agenda for today's discussion is Lord Krishna's estimation of this world, how to adjust the imbalance, if there is any, a renunciation versus devotion. That means vairagya versus bhakti. Should devotion be a part of my life? I think this is not a question. All of those who have attended the Gita classes, they are already convinced. But still we will revisit it. We will try to understand what is our needs. And then we'll see a practical tip of the day, which will help us in our journey of spiritual life. Lord Krishna's estimation of this material world. Now, before we start understanding what is the estimation, we have to understand from whom we should get the estimation. Who is the best person to estimate the quality of this mic? Or who is the person who knows everything about this mic? Manufacturer. Very good. Who is the manufacturer of this world? Yes. So who is the best person to estimate this world? Very good. In just 1 minute we concluded. Sometimes practical examples help to explain complex subject matters. So this is a saying, unless you hear it from the horse's mouth. Horse's mouth, you know how this saying has come, how this terminology has come? Horse's mouth. Why should we hear from a horse's mouth? Who has heard anything from a horse's mouth? Does horse speak? This is a very interesting story. Not a story, it's a reality. It's history, not story, but his story. It's history mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That at one point of time, there were two demigods who were doctors, whose name were the Ashwini Kumaras. Celestial doctors, famous all over the universe for their skills. They wouldn't just do medicine, they would do many other things, but medicine was one of their primary practice. They decided to understand what is transcendental knowledge, that means knowledge which is beyond the body. The knowledge of the spirit soul, the knowledge of the transmigration of the spirit soul, the knowledge of karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga and bhakti yoga. This is called as Brahma Gyan. They approached a rishi, a sage named Dadhichi for transcendental knowledge. There was one personality called Indra. He became a little bit disturbed. He mentioned that already these demigods, they are quite famous, and if they get the Brahma Gyan, if they get the transcendental knowledge, they might disobey me, or they might claim more authority than me. They might command more respect than me in the society of demigods. Some kind of insecurity he had. So he went and told the Dadhichi Rishi, Indra, that if you will give them the Brahma Gyan, or if you will give them the transcendental knowledge, that is not good. We have our own spiritual master, Brihaspati. If they want, they should go to him, and he knows the proper way to teach. And there is a procedure. Not everybody can get everything. So if you give them, then I will cut off your head. Like this Indra warned. So Ashwini Kumaras, they heard, they were not there, but they came to know that Indra has given such and such a warning. So Ashwini Kumaras, they went and told Dadhichi, don't worry. Even if he cuts off your head, we are doctors. We are not some Manipal or Apollo or some other kind of doctor who will say, sorry, we can't save. I mean, no disrespect to these organizations. But doctors of this planet Earth, once somebody's head is cut off, can they save him? But the celestial doctors, Ashwini Kumaras, they can save him. So they said, no, don't worry. What we will do, we will put a horse head on your head right now. See the advancement in medical science. They said, we will put a horse head on your trunk. And then when Indra comes and cuts off your horse head, we will put your original head back. So they actually did it. They put a horse head on the trunk of the Dadhichi Rishi, and he started speaking Brahma Gyan, transcendental knowledge. Now transcendental knowledge is such that even if it comes out from a horse's mouth, you should hear it. And the same thing has been taught by Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has said, Kiva Vipra Kiva Nyasi Shudra Kene Noe, Jai Krishna Tattva Vetta Sei Guru Hoy. Don't see who is a sannyasi. Don't see who is an elevated, learned Vedic scholar. Don't see who is a Shudra. Anybody who knows the science of Krishna, anybody who knows the science of Krishna consciousness is a guru. If it is a horse who knows the science of Krishna, the horse, we can hear from the horse's mouth. So I think from there only, because this is the direct way in which Ashwini Kumaras were taking transcendental knowledge, they were hearing from the horse's mouth. And then as usual, Indra comes, he cuts off the head, goes away. Ashwini Kumaras put back the original head, and after that the pastime continues. Indra gets defeated because of this immoral behavior and disrespect towards a saintly personality. He gets defeated by the demons, and then he needs a weapon, and he goes to pray to Lord Krishna, please help me. Lord Krishna says, you know what, you need a weapon. And there is a sage called Dadhichi. His bones are very strong. Why don't you go and talk to him? Indra is like, just a few months ago I have cut his head. So Krishna says, don't worry, if you have any problem approaching him, why don't you take Ashwini Kumaras with you? They are students of Dadhichi. So Lord Krishna made fun of Indra and then he put him in the spot. And ultimately he did that. He went and literally told the Dadhichi Rishi that can you please kindly die so that I can save myself? Can you quit your body? Like that the pastime continues. I don't want to get into full detail, but this is a Vedic reference from where this saying comes, to hear from the horse's mouth. So we want to hear from Krishna's mouth because he is the original Hayagriva. Have you heard of the Hayagriva incarnation? The incarnation with a horse head. So he is the original Hayagriva incarnation. So we will hear from him about the estimation of this world. Are you all ready? Is everybody ready? The estimation of the world is this. Please repeat with me. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. Please take note of these two words. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Because they have attained the highest perfection. Chapter 8, Shloka number 15. So Krishna is recommending that there is another world which is beyond this material world. In this material world, what are the problems of life, as we have discussed in the previous sessions? Yes, thank you very much. Birth, disease, old age and death. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi. Dukkha, doshanu, darshanam. Only those who see these four things as miseries, according to Lord Krishna, they are intelligent. Birth is misery, death is misery, old age is misery, and diseases is misery. And these are the real problems of life. Why? Because these four problems happen to everybody. Nobody can do anything about it and nobody wants it. Any problem which satisfies these three criteria is a real problem. Any problem you have in life, just see if it satisfies these three criteria. If it doesn't, then it's not a real problem. So Krishna is telling that there is another world, which is known as the spiritual world, where there is no birth, no disease, no old age, no death. So the aim or the business of the human life is to go back home, back to Godhead, to that original world, and do something so that you will become qualified to go to the spiritual world. Otherwise, this material world is not a place for living. My spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that this world is like a toilet. You have to finish your business and get out of it. And your business is to become qualified to enter the spiritual world. How many of you would like to enter a toilet with a bed sheet and a pillow and would like to spread it out there and sleep? No, you want to just finish and get out. So similarly, this world is like that. This is not a place for any gentleman to live. No gentleman or gentle lady should stay, should decide to stay. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, and I'm really liking it here. Don't do that. The laws of material nature and the Maya Shakti of the Lord will beat the pulp out of you, and then you will be praying how to get rid of these miseries. But the design of this material world is that it is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. If you are desiring for happiness which is lasting, I'm sorry, you will never get it. People should not say that I'm a pessimistic person, but this is the estimation of Krishna. Actually, there is no sukh in this world. Whenever the degree of our suffering reduces a little bit, we think that is sukh. A very nice example given by Srila Prabhupada is, there is a prisoner whose hair is being held very tightly and he is being dunked into water. Dunked for 30 seconds and then taken out for 5 seconds. So whenever he is dunked in water, he is not able to breathe, he is breathless. At that time, he is thinking, I am suffering so much. But for 5 seconds when he is taken out, he is thinking, oh, ye sukh hai. This is happiness. Actually, he is still under the control of the jailers who are granting him punishment. Until unless he comes out of the jail, there is no question of happiness. Suppose if you have got some serious disease, malady, and daily you are being given 10 injections. And from next day, the hospital staff announces from tomorrow you will be given 8 injections. So you should celebrate. Oh, I am having happiness in my life. I am getting only 8 injections. As discussed in one of the previous sessions, most of the happiness is only comparative. My neighbor has 1 car, I have 2 cars, that's my happiness. Is that actual, factual, fundamental happiness? No. And sometimes people go to the degree of saying that, okay, I lost 5 lakh rupees, but my neighbor lost 7 lakh rupees, so I'm happy. That is the degree of our happiness. So petty, so useless. So therefore, this material world has been branded as Dukkhalayam by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And it is ashashvatam. Some people out of illusion may start finding happiness also. A musician may start finding some happiness with his musical instrument for some time, but it is temporary. The musical instrument will not be there after some time, the musician will not be there after some time, the audience will not be there after some time, his life only will not be there after some time, the whole world will change after some time. So ashashvatam. So this is the estimation. And then another reference, 2 more adjectives. In the previous verse, Krishna gives the adjectives Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. He gives another 2 adjectives. Anityam Asukham. Kim Punar Brahmana Punya Bhakta Rajarshayastutha Anityam Asukham Lokam Imam Prapya Bhajasvamam. Sorry. How much more this is so for the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. That means the only way to find any tangible happiness, which is actual and factual happiness, in this temporary and miserable, anityam asukham, is to render devotional service to Krishna. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshvagamamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Abhyayam. The practice of devotional service, the practice of bhakti yoga, the practice of Krishna consciousness in itself is susukham. It's a very happy process. What do you do in this process? You come together, you chant the holy names of Krishna. And whenever you chant Hare Krishna, you become happy. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. We say like that. After that, what do? You sing and dance in kirtan. I think that's a happy process. And then you eat very wonderful Krishna prasad. That's a very sad process, I think. Nobody wants prasad. Correct? Everybody wants prasad and everybody is super happy. Today is Ekadashi. We are going to serve Ekadashi prasadam to you. Very, very delicious Krishna Ekadashi prasadam. Sir, when was the last time you danced?
Yesterday.
When?
Yesterday.
Kirtan Mela? When you were in Kirtan. No? Outside this temple, when was the last time you danced? Didn't dance only. Is it okay to say that whenever you come to temple, you dance little bit? That means in temple, you are happier than all the other places. Every day at 4:30 a.m. I dance while attending the Mangalarti. Since you are connected to ISKCON or you're connected to Krishna consciousness, you are answering yesterday I danced. But if you ask this question to an ordinary man or a person, they will say 20 years ago when my child took birth, little bit I danced. But people who are in Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, every day they dance. Now this itself is a very nice yardstick to measure the happiness in life. Someone may say, what about those dancers in what? That show which comes? Boogie Woogie or Dance India Dance. Boogie Woogie is no longer there. When I was a child it used to come. So Dance India Dance. Do you think the Dance India Dance stars, they are very, very happy in life? They're dancing every day, so they must be happy. If you look at their personal lives, it is full of and probably, I don't want to comment on their personal lives, but we don't know. We are not sure. Just because they are dancing. First of all, we can tell one thing, that why they are participating in Dance India Dance primarily for name and fame. Not for the love of dance. For sure. And anybody whose mind is fixed upon getting name and fame is a very miserable person. How many of you would like to talk to a person who always wants himself to be glorified and always wants to hog the limelight and always speaks good things only about himself? How many of you would like to be friend of such a person? These are the activities of a person who is mad and insane behind getting name and fame. Any photo, then he will only come in the center. I want to be in the center. Like these people, they stand with politicians and they put those photos everywhere. I also have one photo like that with the President of India. My father has made it big and put it in the house. I don't know why but anybody who comes to the house, he shows that photo. Hogging the limelight. So these people who are behind name and fame, one thing is there, those people who are not happy internally in their own spiritual life, those who are not happy internally, they look for happiness externally. External happiness means money. External happiness means beauty. External happiness means name and fame. External happiness means strength and social status. External happiness means degrees and knowledge. External happiness, these are the things which people take shelter of to become externally happy. This is a sign that people are spiritually starving. I'm not saying that those who are spiritually advanced, they don't aspire for these things. No, they also do it as a matter of duty. But they do not base their happiness out of it. So only devotees of Krishna are truly happy in this material world. There's a statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita which says, Bhukti kami mukti kami sakale, no, what is that verse? Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakale ashant Krishna bhakta nishkam atayeva shant. So those who want sense gratification, I want to go to Burj Khalifa. Yesterday someone was telling me, I want to go to Dubai and see the Burj Khalifa. I asked him, what you will do after seeing that? Nothing, I will just come back after that. So those who want to do sense gratification in life, they are never happy. Those who want to escape the miseries of life, they are also not happy. And those who want some mystical powers to play with the laws of material nature, to produce, to be able to walk on water or to be able to do some miracles, they are also not happy. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami sakale ashant. Krishna bhakta nishkam. The devotees of Lord Krishna, they don't want anything for themselves. The only thing which they want is to make Lord Krishna happy. So therefore nishkam. It does not mean that the devotees of Lord Krishna have zero desires. No, they have 1 crore desires. But all those desires are meant for the service of Lord Krishna. But the other people who are in the process of bhukti, mukti and siddhi, they also have 1 crore desires, but they have stinking desires, which is focused on sense gratification and the spirit of enjoyment. Personal. And sense gratification and this mad journey or urge for enjoyment ultimately leads to frustration. Sense gratification leads to frustration. Why? Because there is no limit to sense gratification. You're thinking you will become very happy when you will eat this. You go on eating, ultimately you will not be satisfied. You're thinking you will become very happy when you will sleep on this kind of a bed, in this kind of apartment, on the 110th floor of Burj Khalifa. You try it. It will not give you happiness. So happiness only comes when you get into a relationship where the other party is able to satisfy you 100% and reciprocate with you 100%. Now, who can understand you and satisfy you 100%? Your dog? It's only Krishna, because he is the Paramatma in your heart, and only he can understand you 100%, and only he can satisfy you 100%. And when you get into that relationship with him, with God, then you will become free of lust, anger, greed, illusion, enviousness and attachments, and then you will be able to experience what is true happiness. True happiness begins when you overcome lusty desires. That is the beginning of happiness. But the whole world is controlled by lust. So it's very difficult. Even if somebody says, I'm wonderful, happy, fantastic, 2024 is going to be the best year of my life, it's like a donkey speaking. Have you heard a donkey speaking? Very melodiously he speaks. And when he speaks, he gets beaten up more. So all these people who are saying 2024 is going to be the best year of my life, the Maya Shakti of the Lord is listening. Acha beta, now I will show you whether it will be happy or the most miserable year. So, is Krishna being pessimistic? Some people, they want to hear only positive things. Sir, positive boliye, sir, acha boliye. Why you are speaking such negative things? You should just motivate us. Motivational talk, motivational hona chahiye. We should get motivated in life. We are coming to temple and then you are spoiling our hopes of being happy in life. Anyways, we are coming to temple to experience some happiness, and after coming to temple also, you slap us with some Bhagavad Gita shlokas. This is not good, Prabhu. You should be kind to us. Tell us good things, sweet things. Give us some false hope. Sorry, I can't do that, because that is not the science of Bhagavad Gita. If Krishna was harsh enough to call this world anityam, asukham, dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, then the devotees of Krishna have to also follow in the same footsteps. This world, how many of you would like to go to prison, jail in the 2024? Please raise your hands. I want to go to jail. Why you want to go to jail, Mataji?
Outside better than inside.
Sorry?
Better than outside.
Better than outside. I'm fully frustrated. I want to go to jail.
Maybe 3 minutes.
Prabhuji, can we do something to fulfill her desire? Huh?
2 minutes enough, Prabhu.
2 minutes? Today, Prabhu?
1 minute also enough.
Avalalli jail, Prabhu? Prabhu, we'll put her for 5 days in Avalalli. Okay? After that, she'll realize the outside was better. Comparison. Prisoners in a jail, they have a uniform. They are behind the bars. They are made to work very hard. And there are some jailers who ensure or enforce the punishment. Is it common in all the jails? Everybody is saying yes, as if they have experience. We also have a uniform, and the uniform is the body which we have. Are you forced to wear that uniform in the jail? Yes. So similarly, you as a spirit soul, you are forced to be in this human body. You can't leave before time. If you leave, what will happen? Suppose if you commit suicide and leave, then what will happen? You will become a ghost. And then your punishment will be doubled. Just like if you escape from the jail, then they catch you back and they enforce double punishment. So it's very horrible. don't ever think of suicide. There is a company called Tata Motors. They made an anti-suicide policy. It was very funny. At some point of time, due to some reasons, some of the workers there were committing, or news was coming that he attempted suicide, she attempted suicide, he attempted suicide. So they made a law that if you commit suicide, make sure you die. If you don't die, then you lose your job, you lose your provident fund, you lose this, you lose that. And generally in such companies, which is like huge, the ward or the child of the employee also has a natural entry into those companies to work. For example, if person A is working in Tata Motors, then the child of person A will also have a job offer there. That's how these small towns, they work. This is the case in a small town called Jamshedpur, where there is Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Vyron, Tata this, Tata that. So it's a Tata community. So they made a law that if you commit suicide, make sure you die. Because if you don't die, then you will lose everything. Then they stopped committing suicide. Earlier it used to happen, no, I'm frustrated with my wife or I'm frustrated with my husband, let me commit suicide just to teach her a lesson or him a lesson. All this was going on. So to stop it, they made a law. So suicide is something very bad, discouraged by the laws of this material world also. Do you know that if you attempt a suicide, you are liable for punishment also? If you attempt suicide, you are liable, and if you don't die, then the government will punish you. So even in this material world, you are liable for punishment. What to speak of the laws of the universe? So don't think of committing suicide. And if you rule out the suicide option, then yes, this body is a prison in which we are trapped for a long, long time. In the jail, you are behind the bars. In this body, wearing this uniform, you are behind the bars of lust, anger, and greed and illusion. See, such a nice prison. You can't even see these bars, but they have trapped you. You are a prisoner of lusty desires. You are a prisoner of anger, prisoner of greed, prisoner of illusion, prisoner of jealousy, and prisoner of unnecessary attachments. You are made to work very hard. Here also, you are working very hard to survive. 1st January, we wanted to do some nice book distribution drive. And we came to know that most of the people have it 1st January as a working day. We realized that it's so hard to just survive also. You are made to work very hard. They give you a job offer with 8 hours. Slowly when you go there, you realize everybody around me is working 10 hours. And then they show some carrot to you and then they make it 12 hours. And then you are behind that carrot, 13, 14, health problem, family problem, mental problem. And then one day they give you the pink slip. Thank you. You may kindly leave. And then you update on LinkedIn looking for a job. This is what is the material world. They make you work like a donkey. And this is valid for everybody. Have you heard the story of 2 donkeys? No pun intended. Don't think that I'm calling anyone a donkey. But there were 2 donkeys. Both of them were working for a washerman. Donkeys are highly respectable animals in human society, correct? Whenever we want to respect someone too much, we call him a gadha. We call him a donkey. It's like a appreciation. Mr. Gadha, please come here. So the donkeys, they used to go with dry clothes, and the clothes, after being washed, they become heavy. So the clothes are being again loaded on the donkeys, and the washerman keeps beating them up. And then when they come back after a days of hard work, little bit of grass is given to them, and the donkeys, they eat the grass. So one day, one donkey realized that, see, we are working so hard, getting beaten up, getting so many abusive treatment just for little grass. That grass is freely available. If we can just run away from this person, we can freely eat that grass, and there's no need for this abuse, this stress, this pressure, and this over endeavor. So the other donkey, because he was a greater donkey, he said, "What are you saying? If we leave our master, we cannot survive." He said, No, let me take the risk. So one of the donkeys, he ran away one day. And then he led a happy life. He was eating the grass whenever he wants. He was doing whatever he want. And God was maintaining him. God maintains everybody, so why will he not maintain a donkey? So he was giving him the grass and the other bodily necessities. After 6 months, he came back to the house of the owner, the other donkey, and he said, "Look at me, I'm 6 months old now as a free donkey, and you see I'm more happy and very healthy. Why don't you also run away now?" This is the proof that we all can survive without being a donkey. So the other donkey, who was still in captivity, he said, "What you are saying is right, and you have proved it also, but still I don't want to go away." The reason is that after I come back, after working so hard, and I'm very tired, and my mind and senses are little tired, when I'm just about to doze off to sleep, sometimes I hear my washerman or my master shout at his daughter. He says, "What third-class dinner have you made? If you make such dinner again, I will marry you to that donkey." So I'm just waiting for that day. So therefore I'm continuing to stay here. So there are 2 lessons you can derive from this donkey attitude. Do you want to hear those 2 lessons? Or maybe you want to take it home and think over it. I'll leave it for you to think over it. So everybody is a donkey. Everybody works very hard to survive just for 2 rotis. You know how many? Can you guess how many rotis Mukesh Ambani would be eating? Yeah, 2 to 3. But is there really such a need to work so hard for 2 rotis?
House to maintain.
What? Who asked him to make a 40-floor house? Does he get better sleep than you?
Definitely not.
Sorry? Has that fame made him happy? Or a peptic ulcer patient? He has peptic ulcers, by the way. So see, we are just confusing. Suppose if somebody has to die today, will you judge a person by the number of toys he had at the time of death? Unfortunately, the society is doing that. The number of toys you have at the time of death, that is your greatness. I have 5 toys, you have 10 toys. Both of us are dead. But you had 10 toys, you are a greater person. This is stupidity. This is really stupidity. We have just lost track. We are a part of rat race, and that's Maya Shakti. It's making us work hard. Just because we don't want to serve Krishna, we want to serve some politician, we want to serve some boss, we want to serve some society, we want to serve some relatives, we want to serve family, we want to serve our ego. We are being made to work so hard. Simply if we start serving Krishna along with serving others, our life will become very simple. And then there is the laws of material nature, alternatively known as Durga Devi, who is offering miseries in our life. Miseries due to our own body and mind. Miseries due to others. And miseries due to the natural calamities like floods, rain. We all are facing 3 kinds of miseries: Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, and Adidevik. And still when we ask, "How are you?" "I'm fine. Thank you. I'm facing floods. Somebody has made my life miserable. I have a lower back pain. I have a headache. I have so many mind control issues. But how are you, sir? How do you do? Fine, thank you. Now you understand why Krishna has called this as a miserable place. So this is the reality of the world. There is lots of advertisement of happiness. Everyone is trying their own innovative ways to be happy. Some people even claim that I have become happy, but ultimately time kills everything. Logic of happiness in this world is the anticipation of achieving something and the comparison of status. Anticipation of achieving something means basically false hope. How many of you have been driven? Can you imagine a donkey? Actually imagine a donkey, huh? Don't just think of me or yourself. Think of a donkey. And on the neck of the donkey is a stick. And on the other end of the stick is a rope. And on that rope, a carrot is hanging. And the donkey is trying to eat that carrot. What the donkey will try to do? He will go forward. But when he goes forward, does the carrot also go forward? No? Donkey will be able to... Yeah. So that is called false hope. False hope tells you little bit, only little bit more if you sacrifice your personal time from your health, from your hobbies, from your family, from your spiritual life. Little bit, only 4 hours more. If you give to work, you will become the most successful person. And then when you give that 4 hours, little bit more, little bit more, little bit more. Okay, this time you did everything right, but somebody else spoiled the game. No problem. Next time one more you try. This is the nature of Maya. She will show you a very golden picture. If you get this, you will be the happiest man in the world. Try for it. Become a peptic ulcer patient. Sleep less. Destroy all personal time and happiness. And try to get this. You work hard for 4 years and if you're lucky enough, if your karma of previous life is good enough, if you're a pious person, you might even get it. But after you get it, after 2 days, you realize this is not what I was looking for. Why? Because Maya showed you a picture, and as soon as you went there, if at all you ever go there, then she'll change one small variable. One small thing she will change, which you had never anticipated. And because of that one small change, everything will appear so miserable. How many of you have had this experience? Please raise your hands. Some people are raising their hands. Some people are like, I will not raise my hand, but I know this happens with me. This has happened with everybody. Some realize it, some don't realize it. I'll give you my personal example. When I was a small child, those days, some things called video games had come up. TV video games. So I was going to the house of my friends and seeing he has a video game, he has a video game, everybody has a video game. So one day I was going to play, summer vacation was going on. So when we used to play, who remembers timing when we start playing? So the mother of my friend, she threw me out of the house. Bhago yahan se. Every day you come and spoil whole day playing. So I took it as an opportunity. I somehow brought some tears out and I went crying to my home, to my father. I just went to my father that I got thrown out of that person's house. My father was like, why did they throw you out? They didn't let me play a video game. So immediately my father felt hurt and immediately he just put on his clothes, and those days Bajaj Chetak scooter used to be very good. So he started his scooter and went away. And then in the evening he came back with a video game. So I thought that I have achieved the goal of my life. After 2 days, I felt this is not good enough. What is this? Simply playing on video games. I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. Then after 2 months, I told my father that I need a dog, and that's how life goes on. So your search for happiness never ends. The point which I'm trying to say. Sense gratification is like a donkey having a stick on which a rope, through a rope, a carrot is hanging. You always feel that if you get this one particular problem which I have, if it gets solved, I'll be a happy man. But we do not realize that that one particular problem gets always replaced by another problem. Have you experienced this? You feel that this one particular issue which I have, if I solve it, I will be a peaceful person. But if at all you resolve it, then you always feel, oh, there is another problem now. Why? Because this world is dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, anityam, asukham. The false hope of, or the anticipation of achieving something keeps giving people the kick. And then comparative attitude. I went to war, he also went to war. I lost one eye, he lost both the eyes, I'm happy. This is comparative status. So therefore, the happiness in this world is like a burger. Which part of it's a very, I don't know how many will appreciate, but which part of burger gives you happiness?
The patty.
This patty, huh? Please take note, this is a vegetarian burger. Okay. So, to eat this patty, how big you have to open your mouth? It's so much misery to chew this bread, and then this bread, and so many other leaves, and so many other things, just to get a little bit. So the happiness in this world is like that. Just for little bit of happiness, you are made to endeavor so much, and that so-called fickle, short-lived, temporary happiness, which ultimately leaves you hankering for more, is preceded and succeeded by so many miseries. Does it make sense? You want some happiness, it is anyways short-lived, it is anyways flickering, and it anyways leaves you hankering for more. Is preceded and succeeded by so much misery. Does it make sense? How many of you would like to go for a burger today? And while eating it, think that this is life. Where you learned Bhagavad Gita class, I learned. So how to adjust this imbalance? The answer is Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, shloka number 14. Please repeat with me. Daivi hi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. We are all puppets, or acting like puppets, because we are under the control of mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance, which is commonly known as the three modes of material nature. So Krishna says, this divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. That means if you surrender to Krishna, if you accept the Bhagavad Gita, and if you agree to follow the teachings of Krishna, you'll get a lot of relief from Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, and you'll be situated in the Shuddha Sattva, or the mode of pure goodness, where you will start realizing who you are and what is the purpose of life. Krishna is literally showing off in this verse, saying that, see boss, Maya Shakti is my energy. If you listen to me, I will tell her not to disturb you. But if you don't listen to me, then she will take care of you. It's like a naughty child whom the father is threatening that if you don't listen to me, I will send you to the hostel. And in the hostel, there is that warden who is very strict. So it's the child's choice whether he wants to remain in the love, care, and affection of the father at home, or else he wants to be sent off to another jail called boarding school, where the warden is making him wear a uniform, making him work very hard, making him to go through so many difficult tasks, and is all the time behind the bars of strict discipline. So literally Krishna is telling that. So the only way to overcome the miseries which we get because of our body and mind, the miseries which we get because of others, and the miseries which we get because of the natural calamities is to surrender to Krishna. Is this much clear? Our job is to surrender to Krishna. Is this much clear? If you have any doubts, you can raise your hand. If you have any disagreements, you can raise your hand. Now this is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Those who have not read the Bhagavad Gita, they certainly don't know this, that Krishna told the entire Bhagavad Gita to ultimately tell this. If somebody asks you, what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, or what is the end result of Bhagavad Gita? This is the end result. Sarva dharman parityajya Mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So if you want to say what is the summum bonum of Bhagavad Gita, or what is the summary of Bhagavad Gita, or what is the ultimate purpose of Bhagavad Gita, or what is the ultimate teaching of Bhagavad Gita, this is what you should say. If after reading the Bhagavad Gita 500,000 times, if you have not been able to surrender to Krishna, then your study is a waste of time. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. And when Arjuna heard this, he said, yes, karishye vachanam tava, I will do what you say. My welfare is to follow what you have said. Because Krishna also in another place in the Bhagavad Gita says that I am your best well-wisher. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarva lok maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. I am the supreme beneficiary of all the sacrifices and austerities. I am the master or the supreme master of all the planets and all the demigods. And at the same time, I am the best well-wishing friend of all the living entities. Those who know this will attain peace. So Krishna is the best well-wisher of all of us. If we really want to understand what is best for us, we have to hear from Krishna. Only Krishna truly loves us. Love means it has to be unconditional, it should be unmotivated, and it should be uninterrupted even by the cycle of birth and death. This kind of love only Krishna or God does. Nobody else has the capacity to love like that. Unconditional, unmotivated, uninterrupted. So only God loves us like that, and only He can tell us, because He knows past, present and future also. So only He can tell us what is best for us. So we should surrender to Krishna. So some of the examples of surrender is, which you find in the scriptures is Gajendra, and who is the other person in the picture? Prahlad. Very good. So this Gajendra, is a great elephant, not an ordinary elephant. There are greater elephants in the higher realms of this universe. He had a battle with a crocodile for 1,000 years. And all the other demigods and the celestial beings, the demigods, the Gandharvas, the Charanas, the Siddhas, they were all seeing that battle. But when he had his sons, daughters, wives, nobody helped him. because in water the crocodile is more powerful. When he was in excruciating pain, when he found the strength of his body reducing, when he literally sensed that my time has come, at that point of time, he took a flower and he offered it to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, and he chanted some prayers which he had learnt in his previous life when he was a king named Indradyumna. So some people ask me, what is the benefit of memorizing verses, or what is the benefit of memorizing Bhagavatam prayers? This is the benefit. It stays with you. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, shloka number 15, Krishna says that by my influence comes knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. So somehow by the mercy of Krishna, this elephant got the remembrance of the prayers which he had learnt in his previous life. And he started reciting those prayers in an elephant body, offering a flower to the Lord. At that time, immediately, the Lord loves everybody. He doesn't just loves the human beings. He loves all living entities. It is said that the Lord was having some personal time with Mother Lakshmi. And without even explaining what has happened, without even giving any excuse, without even saying excuse me, he just left. And the vastra or the dress or the, handkerchief or whatever, some part of the dress of Mother Lakshmi was also wrapped up in his hand. He left in that situation without explaining anybody where he is going, because this Gajendra, an elephant, was praying. He mounted the Garuda and he said, let's go. And the Garuda was flying, the fastest creature. But he said, you're slow. He put Garuda on his back and he went in great speed. And in one moment, he appeared there. And before appearing, he said, okay, now Garuda, you come down. Because people think that you are my servant and I'm your master. So he took the position and he appeared there, and immediately he took out the Sudarshana, killed the crocodile and delivered the elephant. This is the love which Krishna has, God has for all of us. Similarly, Prahlad, what kind of atrocities he went through. But in all moments, he surrendered. Surrender is not a one-time process, that today I have done Sharanagati, today I have surrendered, and tomorrow I'll become a demon again. No. Surrender is a moment-to-moment process. Every moment, the laws of material nature and the Maya Shakti will test you. And every moment you have to prove your chastity towards Krishna. Krishna will always test, what do you want? Do you want sense gratification or do you want me? Do you really want me? Why don't you become the king of the whole world? Why don't you get liberation from the cycle of birth and death? Why don't you get the 8 mystical potencies? In all times you have to say no. I don't want liberation. I don't want the mystical potencies. I don't want wealth. I don't want fan followers. I only want you. Na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmanishware, bhaktad bhavatad bhaktera heituki tvai. Oh my dear Lord Sri Krishna, I do not want immeasurable wealth, nor do I want a beautiful spouse, nor do I want a great fan following. All I don't even want liberation from the cycle of birth and death. The only thing which I want is that wherever and in whichever situation you put me, just give me the association of your pure devotees and give me an opportunity to render some service to you. This consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. This is Bhakti Yoga. This is the reason why devotees who have developed this attitude, even great demigods like Indra, Chandra, Brahma and Shiva, they offer respectful obeisances to the devotees of Krishna because they have this attitude. Na janam, na dhanam, na sundarim. So Prahlad had that attitude. His father, his own father, just because he was a devotee, No other reason. Not because he was naughty, not because he was, egoistic, not because he was disobedient, not because he was doing something wrong. Just because he was chanting Hare Krishna, just because he was a devotee, his father put him into so many troubles. One may say that my father loves me, my father has given birth to me. I should serve my father all my life, I should serve my mother all my life. Very good, that's a very nice sentiment. But why do we forget that our ultimate father is Krishna? Every life we have different father, every life we have different mother, and it's our duty to serve them. But what about our original father, from whom everything in this creation has come from? So Prahlad chose the original father Krishna and decided not to listen to the atheistic teachings of Hiranyakashipu, who was his biological father. And because of that, he was put in a pit of snakes, he was put in fire, he was trampled by elephants, thrown off from a cliff, what not. But in all times, he was completely surrendered to Krishna. He was completely surrendered. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo iksha tumar. My dear Lord, if you want to save me, you save me. If you want to save me, who can kill me? Rakhe Krishna mare ke. Mare Krishna rakhe ke. And if Krishna wants me to die, who can save me? He had that attitude, and in an undisturbed way, he continued chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This incident has happened lakhs of years ago in Satyuga. At least 40 lakh years ago. But even after 40 lakh years, we are still remembering this 5-year-old child. Why? Because of his surrender. Tell me one person who lived 5 lakh years ago. Tell me one person who lived 1 lakh years ago. 50,000?
Prahlad's father.
Prahlad's father was 40 lakh years ago. Hiranyakashipu. This proves that God is famous eternally and God's devotees are also famous eternally. Nobody else is famous. Only God and His devotees are famous. Now we come to renunciation versus devotion. What all we have covered till now? We have covered, let's do a quick revision. We basically covered the estimation of this world. What is this world like? It is dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, anityam and asukham. Are you all convinced? Yes. Happy New Year. Okay. How to adjust this imbalance? By surrendering to Krishna. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. And Devi hi esha gunamai mama maya duratyaya. Mamev ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. These 2 points we have covered. The only way to find some tangible happiness which does not contain the few seeds of future unhappiness in this world is to render devotional service to Krishna. There are 9 ways in which you can render devotional service to Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Shravanam. When you hear about the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Krishna, that is called Shravanam. Bhakti begins with Shravanam, like you are doing now. You are hearing, trying to hear. And when you hear, then naturally you will speak about it also. Therefore, my request to all the students here is, whenever you attend any class anywhere, try to take back at least 2 points and tell about it to others. That is prachar. You know what? Krishna always protects his devotees. This 1 point you learned, go and tell it to others. Then you will realize what you have heard. When you do Shravanam and if you follow it with Kirtanam, you will realize this. There is something called as knowledge and there is something called as realized knowledge. Knowledge is called Jnana, realized knowledge is called Vijnana. So when you share whatever you have learned, you realize it, you experience it. So, Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. You should think of Krishna, remember him. Just like a mother, even if the child is not there, when she sees the footwear of the child, she thinks of the child. Similarly, we should have the same consciousness. When we see things around us, we should think of Krishna. When I'm seeing this fan, the name of the fan is Anchor. And I'm seeing that this fan is connected to Krishna. When I see the fan, I remember Krishna. How? First, the word anchor reminds me. This world is dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, anityam, and asukham. It's like an ocean of birth, disease, old age, and death. The only anchor I have in this ocean, where millions and unlimited souls are floating, crying under the pressure of Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, and Adi Devik kleshas, the only anchor and the only dependable anchor I have is Lord Krishna. And also, this anchor fan gives me a lot of fresh air. Not fresh air, but some air. Krishna says, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego, they are my energies. So this fan is giving me air, it is actually Krishna's energy. How miserable is this place that I need a fan? But in the spiritual world, there is no need of fan also. Krishna says, Natad bhashayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. He says, in my supreme abode, there is no need of sun, there is no need of moon, there is no need of fire, there is no need of electricity. Because without the sun, moon, fire and electricity, everything is else, everything which is there, even without these essential commodities, components, everything is extremely happy and self-effulgent. So you see how I'm able to connect this fan to Krishna. This anchor reminds me of how Krishna is anchoring my life. The air reminds me of 7th chapter, shloka number 4 and 5, which reminds me this air is an energy of Krishna. I should become thankful and grateful to Krishna. Imagine if you are caught up in a sack, 6 feet by 2 feet sack, and they have tied the sack from top and they have put you in it, where you have no air to breathe. How you will feel? We should be grateful to Krishna. And thirdly, this material world is not a place to live. When I go to the spiritual world, there is no need of fan also. Everything is Satchidanand, eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. So similarly, we should Vishnu Smaranam, we should think of Krishna, think of Vishnu. And then Pada Sevanam. Try to render some seva, try to do some seva. Don't just sit at your home on your sofas thinking I am a great devotee. No. Do something practical. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam. Archanam means take part in deity worship. Attend Mangalarti. When you come to temple, bring some flowers or whatever, offer some bhoga to Krishna. Worship Krishna. Vandanam means offer prayers to Krishna. Our prayers will always be stinking. Oh my dear Lord Krishna, such and such person has captured my land, please release my land. This will be our prayers. So therefore we should learn the prayers of Prahlad, we should learn the prayers of Kunti, we should learn the prayers of Uttara, learn the prayers of Gajendra and recite those prayers in front of the Lord. They are sublime prayers. Try to become a servant of the Lord, that is called Dasyam. Try to become non-envious of Krishna, that is called Sakhyam. And Atmanivedanam means try to surrender your whole life to Krishna. Try to live for Krishna, that is called Atmanivedanam. So in these nine ways you can do bhakti. Okay? Now the next part of the discussion is renunciation versus devotion. Let's go to that. Renunciation versus devotion. Generally, when we talk about surrendering to Krishna, people understand that I should give up everything, I should shave my head and probably become someone like this. This personality on your left and my right is a great personality. His name is His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He was one of the disciples of Prabhupada, commonly known as a spiritual master in ISKCON and also very well known for his teachings. He is no longer present on the planet, but he is a great example of renunciation or devotion also. And the other picture is the picture of my friend who works in TCS. Oh, sorry. Some other company's name I should say. Don't take it personally. The other person is a Ashtang yogi sitting in Samadhi somewhere in some deep forest which nobody can access. He is all alone. So generally when we talk about bhakti, people think I have to become someone like this. How many of you had this idea that bhakti means this? Do we necessarily have to become like this to do bhakti? What do you think? Yes or no? No? Okay, you can be wearing a green kurta and a nice watch and some stylish spectacles and nice hair and you can still do bhakti with an iPhone? Yes, okay. He thinks it is yes. How many of you think, no, I have to become like this? Then only I can do bhakti. Otherwise, bhakti is not possible. Good. None of you think like that. Very nice. And it is a fact. You don't have to become like this to do bhakti. You can do bhakti in an elephant's body also. Being an elephant who cannot speak, who does not have the intelligence like a human being, even in that body, if you are sincere and serious, you can render devotional service. And Krishna will come all the way to help you. Bhakti cannot be stopped under any circumstances. Bhakti cannot be checked. Devotional service cannot be checked in any circumstance, provided you want to do it. So I'll give you some references. Can we help this child, please? Ask her to sit somewhere peacefully. Already so many things. Okay. Arjuna Vacha Sanyasam Karmanam Krishna Punar Yogam Cha Shamsasi Yachshreya Etayor Ekam Tanme Bruhi Sunishchitam. Arjuna also had this doubt which we are having right now. Oh Krishna, first of all you ask me to renounce work and then again you recommend work in devotion. Will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial? Chapter 5, Shloka number 1. Generally people have this idea that if I have too many problems in my life, let me take sannyas. Many times we get calls that I am very disturbed, I want to take sannyas, can you tell me the procedure? One day we decided to have some fun. We said yes to a person also, that yes, you come. And then he spent one day with us. The first thing which we did was we took him out for book distribution. He was like, you know who I am? You're asking me to distribute Bhagavad Gita? Do you know who I am? I said, no, just help us. And then in the night, after cleaning and washing the vessels and doing all services, when we were sleeping, this person, he got up and he started thinking, I don't know where I'm sleeping. I don't know who these people are. I don't know whether my mother would have eaten or not. I don't know whether my wife would have taken her medicines or not. Like that. And then he woke up one person. Said, I don't know what is happening to my family. I said, ho gaya vairagya, ho gaya sannyas. Only one day and now you are talking about your dog, your family, your cat. And then he said, yes, I want to go back now. But you wanted to take sannyas? No, I don't want to take sannyas. So this is the general tendency. Bhoga and tyaga. Like sometimes people make New Year resolution. This year I will definitely do this. But after 2 days, again, same behavior. So So sometimes it is seen that when the suffering increases, people tend to run away. They think sannyas is a joke. Renunciation is a joke. People who are good for nothing, who cannot do anything, who are useless, they will take this renunciation. And some people criticize also. Just look at him, coward fellow, has taken renunciation. But they do not realize that when you accept the renounced order of the life, you just don't change your dress. Your mind is still the same. Your mind, which is addicted to sense gratification, is still with you. And to deal with your mind, you require a lot of spiritual stability, and only a hero can be stable in the renounced ashram. It's not everybody's task. It is not possible also for everybody. Until unless the heart has been cleansed by transcendental knowledge, and until unless one has lost the mentality of false ego and doership, they cannot remain stable in the renounced ashram. It's not a joke. So therefore, Arjuna is asking, which is beneficial for me? Should I take sannyas or should I do bhakti? Work in devotion means bhakti. So Arjuna is being answered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. And I will request all of you to repeat with me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sannyasah Karma Yogascha Nishreyasa Karavubhau Tayostu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yogo Vishishyate. The Personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work in devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work in devotional service is better than renunciation of work. That means there are two kinds of renunciation. One is that you give up everything and then you just sit in one place and do nothing. I am a sannyasi. And the other is sannyas while practicing bhakti. In easy way or in easier terms, I would like to explain this. When you are doing something with a desire to enjoy the results of your work, that is called material life. But when you are doing the same thing with a desire to please Krishna and offering the results of your work to Krishna without the desire to enjoy it, that is called work in devotion. And that is higher than the karma sannyas. Karma sannyas means I will not do my duties. I will just sit in one place and probably just go on the path of mental speculation, go on the path of neti and do nothing. That is karma sannyas. That is not possible in Kali Yuga also. It used to happen in earlier ages, in Satyuga, Treta and Dwapar. In Kali Yuga, karma sannyas is not possible because the Kali Yuga mind is very much disturbed. So therefore, even the renunciants and sannyasis in ISKCON, you will see 24 hours they will be doing something. But they are doing everything for Krishna. That is called work in devotion. So even without shaving your head, even without wearing a saffron dress, even while having a family, even while having a job, you can be in the spirit of a sannyasi by offering the results of your work to Krishna. Of course, this does not undermine the renounced ashram. One should not say, hey, I am also a sannyasi, I am better than sannyasi. No. You cannot beat a sannyasi because he can give 24 hours to Krishna. Without it being in the renounced order, you cannot give more than 4 or 5 hours a day. I mean, if you can make 8 hours a day for body, 8 hours a day for work, and 8 hours a day for devotional service, that is the ideal, perfect balance which you can make, and everybody should aspire for it. But certainly, a person who gives 24 hours is direct full-time opportunity for devotional service cannot be beaten up. So I'm not undermining, but I'm saying that even if somebody can do this 888 business, he's a Mahatma, he's a great soul, very rarely found, because he's living by a great example. And he's an inspiration and a role model for many, many people, especially those who are in the Grihastha ashram. So, work in devotion is better than karma sannyas. This was the advice given by Krishna to Arjuna, who was a householder, who was a family man, who was a statesman, who was a military soldier. Krishna doesn't give this advice to Uddhava, he gives him a different kind of advice. So based on the profile of a person, he gives advice. But this is the general advice for everybody. So devotion can be practiced anywhere. I'll give you some examples from ISKCON only. I have shown here 2 photos. How many of you know any one of them or both of them? The person in my left and your right. Your left also. My left and your left both. Husband and wife couple. Mafat Lal and family. How many of you know Mafat Lal? He's a great fabric, material fabric dress manufacturer from Mumbai. Raymond, you know. Anyways. So, how many of you think that you are busier than Mafat Lal? Please raise your hand. What about you, sir? You are busy than Mafat Lal? Mafat Lal wakes up 3:30 a.m. every day in the morning. He is an initiated devotee in ISKCON. 4:30 a.m. he attends the Mangalarti. He worships the Radha Krishna deity in his house. Then for 2 hours he sits down and chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 16 rounds. Then he goes for a walk, does little exercise, then takes some meetings and then goes to office. Every day he reaches the office sharp at 9 a.m., finishes his work. During his work hours he doesn't take unnecessary WhatsApp messages, Facebook, Instagram. He just focuses on work and he offers the result of his work to Krishna. His wife is fully dedicated to make the dress of Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari ISKCON Juhu. All the decorations and the temple services of Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari are taken, to a huge degree taken care by the wife of Mr. Mafat Lal. They have brought up their children in a Krishna conscious way. And they have led such a nice dedicated life, dedicated as a servant to their spiritual master Prabhupada and Krishna, following the principles of no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex life and no intoxication. They have led such a nice life that they have come up in the presentation in ISKCON Kanamandala. So a businessman can also be a devotee. And another example, this will amaze you. He is not even an Indian. He is a person whose name is Alfred Ford. How many of you would like to buy a Ford car? He's the boss of Ford company. The boss of Ford company, along with his wife, who sitting in a place called Mayapur, and they are performing kirtan. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he has donated 50%, no, not 50%, 65% of his ancestral property for Krishna conscious projects. There is a very big temple called Temple of Vedic Planetarium, which will change the fate and the face of this planet once it comes up, which will challenge the entire scientific community as far as the universal structure is concerned, which is going to present the universal cosmos according to Srimad Bhagavatam for the entire scientific community to consider, which is going to show the universal cosmos and the various planetary systems of the universe as an exhibition, which will show the most opulent worship of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And please, can this child be taken care of? opulent worship of Radha and Krishna. So he has made his ancestors proud by participating in this devotional service. We are not asking you to give 65% of your ancestral and personal property. Only heroes like Alfred Ford, who is now known as Ambrish Prabhu, can do that. But you can start with 1%. 1% for Krishna, 99% for my wife. Start with that. Then make it 98 and 2. Then make it 97 and 3. Your hard-earned money is something very difficult to give away. But when you give it to Krishna, then you'll realize why Krishna is Lakshmipati. Then one day you'll realize my money was not mine only. I was Ravana, capturing Sita and thinking Sita is mine. So Lakshmi Liberation Program. Try to liberate your Lakshmi and give it to Krishna. Artificially don't think that this Lakshmi is yours. That is why Lakshmi is very chanchal. She will never remain with you. She will only become stable at lotus feet of Krishna. So by that, today you have money, tomorrow you may not have money. Today you have money, but your next generation may not have Lakshmi. So as long as you have it, try to use it in Krishna's service. That is your credit. And that is the way you can spiritualize your existence. So devotion can be practiced anywhere. You can be a great... How many of you think you are more busy than Ford? Ford chants more than 16 rounds every day. Regularly comes for the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam classes in ISKCON Detroit Temple. He has on record told that he has read the Bhagavad Gita 67 times. And he eats only Krishna Prasad, food which is free from onion and garlic, offered to Krishna, cooked by devotees of Krishna. Food. And he doesn't just stay in Detroit, he travels all around the world. And still he manages to eat only prasad. So you see how much tapasya he is doing. When he came to Bangalore, we were so happy. He was staying in some 5-star hotel. He's Ford, man. He can't come and stay in ISKCON Kanamagla. So he was staying in some big high 5-star hotel. And he called us and he said, can you get some prasadam for me? It's my breakfast time. So we were so happy. We cooked some idli, sambar and everything. And then we went all the way and served him. He used to sit on the floor, eat. And then he thanked us. And then he told us he asked us what is our schedule today. Then he told his schedule. Imagine we were talking to Ford and he was telling, today my schedule is this. And we were feeling so much warmth in the meeting. And then he said that, he said something and I was very touched when he said that. He said that when Krishna and Balram were there in the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni, every day they used to go out and beg. And whatever they used to get, they used to bring it and give it to their Guru. I am trying to build this temple of Vedic planetarium. I wanted to fully fund it. But Prabhupada told me not to give everything. Because Prabhupada wanted others to become fortunate by giving 1 rupee, 1,000 rupees, 1 crore, 1 lakh, 1 crore, whatever you can. So now what I'm doing, I'm going city to city, town to town, to all the communities of devotees and requesting them, begging them to donate some money for this. I'm feeling, Ford is talking like this, that I'm feeling very blissful. For me, this activity is like I'm going out and begging, and whatever I get, I give it to Prabhupada, my spiritual master. So I never went to Gurukul, but I'm living the Gurukul days. In sitting in a 5-star hotel, eating idli and sambar, he was sharing this experience with me. So even when you are in a 5-star hotel, you can be a beggar for your spiritual master. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to say? It's all about consciousness. So you can have spiritual consciousness while being Parikshit Maharaj, or you can have spiritual consciousness while being Sudama. So bhakti can be practiced in any circumstances. When you hear all this, do you get hope in life? Yes. Bhakti can be practiced anywhere. Even if you are in jail, we will see. Today we will prove it. Awalhalli jail. For 5 days we will go and take videos. Mataji will be sitting there and chanting Hare Krishna. And we will deliver some Bhagavatam books also. She will be reading it. Prasadam we will deliver, Mataji. No problem. Okay. So what are my needs? I'll again understand a little bit. The needs of, I have some needs. I need to maintain my body and my family. I need to do few things. Are you leaving? Yeah, okay. Don't leave, huh? I am very badly in need of satisfying my mind. I need to handle pressure and stress. I need to have healthy relationships. And apart from all this, I am a spirit soul. I have some needs of a soul also. Generally, the fifth point is completely ignored and completely untouched and completely undiscussed. So, in order to maintain the body and family, you have to earn a livelihood. In order to satisfy the mind, you have to work according to your nature and not work according to what the society is doing. In order to handle pressure and stress daily, you have to do japa, meditation, by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. For maintaining healthy relationship, you have to be in the mood of a servant. Generally, what we want is we want to exploit everybody so that we can become happy. In this world, everybody wants to become a boss. But true happiness lies in becoming a servant. So when you are in the mood of service and when you are always grounded and humble, then you can have healthy relationships. And the needs of the soul are satisfied when you render bhakti or devotional service to God. You do one thing, you remove these needs of the soul part and you do everything else. You earn a livelihood, you work according to your nature, you do some meditation, artificially you remain humble. You'll not be happy. You'll be spiritually starving. But if you do this one single thing, devotion to God, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tesham satata yukta nam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. Those who always serve me with love and devotion, Tesham satata yukta nam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam, I give them that supreme intelligence. All the other things. I give them that supreme intelligence by which they can come back to me. Ultimately, we are doing all the four above things just to pass our time in this material world. Because I want to remember Krishna at the time of death and go back home, back to Godhead. That is the purpose of human life. Human life, more than art of living, it is meant to be the art of dying. How you die is most crucial. What sadhana you have done throughout your life is very crucial. Are you ready for death in a Krishna conscious way? Ask yourself this question. If you don't know, just fall down from the stairs and hit your head. And in that stage, when you are being bleeding and when you are in pain, see what you are remembering and see what words come out of your mouth. If it is not Krishna, or if it is SHIT, and if in excruciating pain, you are not able to think of Krishna, but just cursing the doctor, the nurse, and the family members for not able to understand you and serve you, you are in deep trouble. We have to remember Krishna. Death means excruciating pain of 80,000 scorpions biting together. Am I detached enough from my body? Am I truly understanding that I am not the body but the spirit soul? That in that situation I will think of the Nama, Rupa, Guna and Leela of Krishna? Or will I be worried about my wife? Will I be looking at my grandson and thinking, who will take care of my grandson when I leave? What will happen to my property? If you will have this kind of consciousness, then punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam. The same thing will continue again and again and again. So simply, if you do follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita doesn't teach you to become a coward or a lazy person. Krishna didn't tell Arjuna, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, please take drugs, sleep at the back of the chariot, I will take care of everything. He said, no, you have to fight. It's your duty. But ma manusmara yudhyacha. Think of me and fight. So whatever you are doing, first of all, it should not be sinful. You can't say I'm a prostitute and I'll think of Krishna and engage in prostitution. No. Your work should not be sinful. If your work involves meat eating, gambling, illicit sex, or intoxication, sinful life and Krishna consciousness cannot coexist. First of all, choose a profession which is not against bhakti. Example, suppose you are a nice, you're into web development, let's say, and full stack development or web development, and you are making a nice website for Kentucky Fried Chicken. Anybody who comes on that website gets attracted to your amazing skills which you have used for making a super interactive chatbot website. And the sales of KFC in Kanamangala have increased by 0.3% after you have made that website. Your work has induced more and more people to do sinful activities. So therefore, it is not proper. Are you understanding what I am trying to say? I was into home automation. One day my mother asked me, what work you do? I said, I make mobile applications by which people, simply by staying on their bed, they can control everything in the house. My mother just said it casually, you are making people more lazy, more lethargic, more unhealthy, and more unfortunate by working. I thought, yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm calling myself a great mobile application design development. I'm calling myself a great knower of neural networks and this and that, UX. Ultimately, I'm making people more lazy and unfortunate and more diseased by doing whatever I'm doing. Earlier, at least they used to get up and switch off something or boil the water or do something. Now they are just in bed whole day. Then I realized that all the work which we do, especially in IT, so therefore, it is very important to give away some part of our sinful earning to Krishna. It is very important to spiritualize our Lakshmi by helping. First of all, you should have a profession which is not strictly against Krishna consciousness. And then, in an honest way, you have to earn your livelihood and then render devotional service. That is the need of life. So basically, the center of everything is devotion to God. If you have this, all good qualities will automatically come to you. But if you don't have this, doesn't matter whether you are a Michael Jackson or a Jayalalitha. Doesn't matter whether you have a PhD. Doesn't matter whether you have crores of rupees or not. Or doesn't matter whether you are a Nobel Prize winner. If you are not a devotee of God, you have no good qualities. But even if you are just a security guard somewhere, but if you are a devotee of Krishna, your senses will be under control and you will definitely have good character. And you will be worthy of respect by great personalities of this universe. Please understand this. Devotees of Krishna, think of Sudama, that photo is there. Who is Sudama? Does he have a PhD? Does he have money? Does he have beauty? Does he have strength? Does he have social status? Nothing he has. He only has bhakti. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, is running to wash his feet. And all the queens of Dwarka who are Lakshmis, they are thinking, who is this person? Krishna has left all of us for him. So the point which I am trying to say is that simply if you have devotion to Krishna, all good qualities will come to you. But if you do not have devotion to Krishna, you may be somebody as advanced as Ravana or Hiranyakashipu. Ultimately, people will hate you. Sir, you have a newborn child. Would you like to name him as Hiranyakashipu? Please do. Try. He's a great personality. Hiranyakashipu was so great that if he used to feel hot, he used to look at the sun, and the presiding demigod, or the deity of the sun, used to reduce the temperature. That much level of control he had on this universe. I will request you to kindly consider naming your son as Hiranyakashipu. And then Narsimdev will come. So we all have various needs in our life. We have a social need, we have a psychological need, we have a physical need, we have an emotional need, we have a mental need. Our misfortune is that while satisfying all these needs, we completely ignore our spiritual need. However, if we can only and sincerely take care of spiritual need, it is like watering the root of the plant. If you water the root of the plant, the twigs, the branches, the stems, the leaves and the flowers, everything gets water. Similarly, if you just maintain your relationship with Krishna, everything else will be taken care. And dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna will give you that supreme intelligence by which you can take care of everything else. That's the point which I am trying to say. Does this make sense? Is this only theory, or do you feel what is being said is practical? If you think it is not practical, look at this. It is possible. So, with that we come to an end of this Gita classes. This is a photo of some classes which I used to conduct in 2018 in a small apartment called SV Heights, which was near the Hope Farm Signal. Since they were my first engagement as a teacher, so I have preserved those photos. Those days I did not have this kind of realizations, and I was not able to present the subject matter. But still, you see, these people were so sincere. I didn't know the Bhagavad Gita also properly at that time. But they used to come and listen. And when I asked them that how many of you want the satsang to continue, many of them said yes. So the same question I keep asking year after year, again and again, to all the students. Now that this Gita course has ended, how many of you want this association, this satsang, this kind of Krishna conscious meditation to continue? Please raise your hand. Okay. Anybody who is like enough, both who tolerate kiya, she is not raising hand. Bardasht kiya. You raised hand? Okay. Thank you.
Already completed also.
Already, yeah. She is previous year Gita course student. Thank you for coming, you see. Very few come. You did the Gita course help you in your life?
It brings peace of mind.
Peace of mind?
Yes.
Apart from that, anything else?
Changing way of life also.
Way of life. Do you feel happy after? Do you recognize yourself as a devotee of Krishna?
I don't feel that I am qualified yet.
But practicing devotee of
Yes,
Krishna?
definitely.
Huh? And after accepting Krishna consciousness, did you face any kind of negativity or any harm in your life, or did you lose your health, or did something bad happen to you?
There are some issues going on.
Yes. That is because dukkhalayam ashashvatam, of course.
For past karmas are also.
Yeah. But now do you have a better understanding of what is happening to you in life?
Actually, like the way we respond to those
Yes.
situations now,
Has become much more
calmer and
informed.
yes.
Yes. So basically Krishna consciousness has helped you in your life.
Sure.
At any point of time, do you want to give up your Krishna consciousness? See, this is Krishna consciousness. The result of this Gita course is not, we are not telling you that now you have started reading Bhagavad Gita, now you have started chanting Hare Krishna, there will be no unhappiness in your life. There will be no problems in your life. Your health will always be good. Your boss will no longer trouble you. The moment he'll see this, use karo iska. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. However, because this world is dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, anityam, asukham, the nature of this world will not change. But your consciousness will be such that you will be able to transcend these problems. You will be surrounded by 50,000 problems always. But these problems will not disturb you. Has this happened to you? Yes, to some degree. To the degree to which I am sincere, to that degree, the problems will not affect me. Some people, make promises. You come to me, I will make you happy. I am not making such promises. To the degree to which you are sincere and serious in the practice of Krishna consciousness under the guidance of Bhagavad Gita, to that degree you will be able to transcend the miseries of this material world. The more you surrender to Krishna, the happier you are. We are not asking you to surrender to me. I am asking you to surrender to Krishna. I am not perfect, you are not perfect, but Krishna is perfect. His teachings are perfect. So please accept it and continue this satsang and continue these classes, these kathas, these associations. So now what is the next step? This is a different format where some 50, 100 people sit and we discuss. But it is very difficult to have focus and attention and relationships in this kind of a setup. For example, I may not know few people personally. I don't know what may be going on in your life. But if we make some smaller groups of 10 people, then it is possible to know. The leader of that group will know the names of all the 10 people. They will know who is healthy, who is requiring some support. When we have a crowd like this, we don't even realize sometimes who is coming, who is not coming. We don't even realize. But when we are a group of 10, we will immediately realize why this person is not coming. How did the exams of that person's child go? How is his health now? He was having this tension or pressure from office. How are things now? That person, how is his japa going on? How many chapters of Bhagavad Gita has he read? This kind of follow-up, this kind of personal attention is not possible in a larger group like this. So the next step is called as Bhakti Vriksha. Based on the area where you stay, we divide you into smaller groups of 10 or maximum 12. We appoint one of the senior students of this temple who has gone through a rigorous training to conduct something called as Bhakti Vriksha. Bhakti Vriksha is basically a 80-minute activity, 80-minute weekly activity. 80 to 90, let's consider 90, 1.5 hours per week. People get together in a particular place. It could be someone's house, or it could be this temple, or it could be any other place. The venue is decided amongst themselves in the group, in the WhatsApp group only they decide. And then they come together. First 10 minutes, they do kirtan and arti. Everybody participates. Here, one of the disadvantages in this kind of a model of class is that we cannot engage everybody in some seva. Without doing seva, when I was explaining Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, or Pada Sevanam, without doing any seva, you cannot experience Krishna, and you cannot experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. It is a valid point, it is my experience, that those who do some seva, they progress in bhakti. And those who don't do any seva, they just come here, eat prasad and go away, their progress is little slow. But those who do some seva, they roll the mats, they clean the floor, they serve some prasadam, they help in, setting the bookstall properly, or some seva, something. So they progress faster. So in Bhakti Vriksha, there are 10 people. Every week some seva will be allotted to you. Someone will have a seva of getting flowers. Somebody will have a seva of getting printouts. Somebody will have a seva of calling people and reminding that Bhakti Vriksha is happening. Somebody will have some seva. So like that, everybody will have some seva and you will feel more important. In this class setup, we cannot make everybody feel important. You come, you don't come, chal raha hai, sab chal raha hai. But in Bhakti Vriksha, you will feel, if I don't go, how will this work happen? How will this seva happen? So some seva will be allotted to you. You will learn deity worship also. Sometimes it will be assigned this week, for this week's Bhakti Vriksha, you are the pujari. So you have to learn everything, how to do deity worship. And then for 1 week, the Bhakti Vriksha leader will be training you on phone or by visiting your house or something. So it's what can I say? It's a personality development program, you can say like that, according to the Bhagavad Gita. Or rather, I should say devotion development program, DDP. So it's a very nice, so first 10 minutes we do kirtan, then for some time we chant together, everybody sits together and chants 1 or 2 rounds, or we recite some shlokas. Then we take some books of Srila Prabhupada and we read. It could be Bhagavad Gita, it could be Bhagavatam. So 20 minutes of reading as a group. Everybody reads one paragraph. And then we take that section. It could be from Science of Self-Realization, it could be from Bhagavad Gita, it could be from Bhagavatam. We have made syllabus, and for those sections there are 3 kinds of questions: discovery, understanding and application. So there are certain questions which you have to answer by discovering it. And there are certain questions, the answers of which are not directly there. You have to understand, process and then answer. And then application. How do you apply it in your life? So it's a very nice discussion which goes on for 40 minutes. After that, any questions and answers are done. And then there is another activity called preaching. Preaching is the essence. So just like I am requesting all of you that you are attending these classes, when you go out, you have to share 1 point from this class to someone. It could be your mother, it could be your friend, it could be your father, it could be your family members or colleagues or the security guard or whoever. Find someone, hey look, listen, come, I have learnt 1 point, I want to tell you. Like that. So that is called as preaching application. So in the Bhagavad Gita, everybody says what preaching they did in the last 1 week. Do you think it's a nice activity to do? Yes? So everybody says, someone says, sorry, I was very busy, I did not preach to anybody. No problem, next week you preach. So somebody says, yeah, I distributed 1 Bhagavad Gita and I discussed some shlokas with my colleagues. Somebody will say, I did this. Somebody will say, I did that. So you get inspired. You do seva, you do prachar, and you chant Hare Krishna. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And over a period of 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you become very strongly bonded as a small family. And I have seen instances where somebody in the Bhakti Vriksha, 2 a.m. in the night is posting message that I'm struggling, I have a serious lower back pain, I need help. 4 or 5 people are reaching the house of that person. And they are the Bhakti Vriksha members, the other students, to help. So that time I felt that this bonding is the success of our center. So that is Bhakti Vriksha. So we request all of you to be a part of these Bhakti Vrikshas. All the graduates of this Gita course should become a part of this Bhakti Vriksha. Does that mean that you will no longer... Does that mean that you will have no longer access to these kind of classes? No, it doesn't mean that. You will always also, the Bhakti Vrikshas generally happen on Saturdays. Don't get distracted. Please pay attention. Hare Krishna. They are just children. Don't get distracted. They are not extraterrestrial entities. So, Bhakti Vrikshas, they happen on Saturdays. How many of you like to eat samosa? Be honest. How many of you feel that until unless you get green chutney and red chutney both together, the taste doesn't come? You need both. So similarly, we all need three kinds of nourishment in our devotional life. One is the Bhakti Vriksha nourishment as a smaller group. One is the Sunday feast nourishment as a bigger congregational group. And one is the festival nourishment such as Rath Yatras, where thousands of devotees are together. So we all need these three nourishments. Both green chutney, red chutney and coconut chutney is needed. Whatever, I'm just giving an example. So on Saturdays, you should attend the Bhakti Vrikshas, and on Sundays, try to come for the Sunday feast, this kind of gathering, where different speakers keep coming and different seminars are being conducted and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is being discussed. You will hear from seniors who are 10 years, 20 years experienced in Krishna consciousness. So this nourishment cannot be replaced by Bhakti Vriksha. And similarly, Sunday feast cannot replace the nourishment which Bhakti Vriksha will give you. So both are important. Sometimes you may say, I cannot give 2 days. Saturday evening, Sunday morning, both I cannot give. So try your best. Make a good balance. First priority you give to Bhakti Vriksha, because that is a proper syllabus-oriented approach in which gradually you progress in Krishna consciousness with personal attention. Sunday feast, if you can come, it is good. As much as you come, it is good. And festivals also you should come. So what is the eligibility criteria to attend the Bhakti Vriksha? What do you think should be the eligibility criteria? Sorry? Chanting what? How many times? See, whatever you say, that will be decided. Every batch decides the Bhakti Vriksha entry criteria. So you people should be kind enough and decide the eligibility criteria. What should be the eligibility criteria to enter Bhakti Vriksha? Chanting Hare Krishna, I accept, but how many times a day or how many times a week or how many times in a year, you have to decide. How about doing one mala, one round? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is the mantra. If you say it 108 times, it takes 6 to 7 minutes. That is called one mala. Is it okay to dedicate 7 minutes of your day for Krishna? Can everybody do that? So can we have this common criteria, the least and the bottommost criteria, rock bottom criteria, one mala a day for entering Bhakti Vriksha? If everybody agrees for this, then that is the eligibility criteria for this year. Trust me, there was never a lower criteria than this. This is the lowest. Every year in Gita course, I am seeing there is great progress happening. When I started, it was 8 rounds. Next year, it became 4. Then COVID, all gone. And then now 2, and now 1. Next year, I don't know what will people say. Therefore, I don't know what to do in life. But yes, those who join the Bhakti Vriksha, they again progress. There are many Bhakti Vriksha students who are chanting 16 rounds and have taken initiation also. Are there anybody like that here? Yeah. There is one Mataji, Nivedita. What was your name, Mataji? Nivedita, correct? No? Yeah. Nivedita Mataji. She was a Bhakti Vriksha member. Please sit down now. She is initiated now in ISKCON. Initiated by spiritual master, have been given the Tulsi beads. She chants 16 rounds. At one point of time, she was a one-rounder. I remember when she and her husband had come to ACS layout along with the children. At that time, probably she was chanting 1 round. How many, Mataji? Not even 1 round. And now you see, within 2 years, so much development. So that is the magic of Bhakti Vriksha. But at the same time, you cannot ignore this Sunday feast also. It has its own rasa, own taste. Green and red chutney, both are needed with samosa. Variety is the spice of life. So eligibility criteria is to chant 1 round. The Bhakti Vrikshas, are a little bit more dynamic. Sometimes you can request the Bhakti Vriksha leader that, see, I'm facing this problem. What is the solution of this problem from the Bhagavad Gita perspective? And then the Bhakti Vriksha leader can invite someone senior to come and give a short talk on that topic. Some problems which we are facing, we can discuss together. Sometimes we can have hypothetical discussions. For example, when the Chandrayaan landing had happened, we had a discussion that what is it according to the Vedic perspective? Can man really go to the moon? Can really someone land on the moon? These kind of discussions we do in Bhakti Vriksha. So how many of you would like to be a part of the Bhakti Vriksha? Please raise your hand. Very good. Some success as a teacher. Those who are not willing to join, please consider. I am desperately praying. Please take shelter of Bhagavad Gita. Take shelter of Hare Krishna. There is no other higher philosophy and there is no other higher sublime lifestyle available anywhere else in the whole creation than what Bhagavad Gita is offering to you. If you are a student, if you want to become a better student, if you are a worker, if you want to become a better worker, if you are a wife or a husband, if you want to become a better wife or a husband, if you are a military professional or whoever you are, if you want to become good at it and find some anchor in your life, please consider joining the Bhakti Vrikshas. That is my request to you, and I am doing it with folded hands. So at this point of time, I would like to announce some of the names. I don't know if all of you are here. Okay. So these are some of the names which we have shortlisted based on the attendance who are qualified to enter the Bhakti Vrikshas. If you see that your name is not here, maybe you have come today or you came last class, we considered minimum certain attendance like 3 and above or something. I don't know, maybe what is the cutoff. But these names have come to me from the follow-up team and the database team. They have said that these people have shown sincerity in the past and looks like they are interested to be a part of the Bhakti Vriksha. I'll just take those names. Mani Sahai and Pragati Sahai, are you here? So you are welcome in the Bhakti Vriksha. Amravati, are you here? Amravati? Okay, not here. Vipul Jain? Satyendra, are you here? Are you sure? Yes. Sri Devi Shyam, thank you for being here. Deepa Lakshmi. Sneh Deep, are you here? Bhagya, thank you. Pramod Cherat, are you here? Okay. Sri Devi and Lakshmana. This is another Sri Devi. So many Sri Devis. Anmol Rai, are you here? Anmol Rai, no, she's not here. Barnali, are you here? Are you sure? Okay. Pooja, are you here? Pooja. It's a very common name. Koi bhi haath utha do. I'm Pooja. Who cares? Pavitra. Okay. Pratiksha. Sushma. Thank you. Would you like to be a part of Bhakti Vriksha? Sure? Because, okay, ask. Double check ho gaya. Nidhi Rai, are you here? I don't think so. Aditya Krishna. Kumkum. Pradeep. Why is Pradeep's name here? Which Pradeep is this? Is this Hoskote Pradeep? Okay, Pradeep, are you here? Preeti. Again, common name. Anybody can raise hand. Anybody can be Preeti. Rohit Shah. Subrat Kumar Mishra. Pushya. Sarala. Shekhar M. and Alaksha Narayana. These were the names which were submitted to me. Today was the Gita course finale. They were supposed to be here. But looks like due to some reason they are not here. We will get back to them and we will inform them on telephone, mobile, that you have been requested to join the Bhakti Vriksha, and we will seek their confirmation. If they confirm, then we will roll out the Bhakti Vrikshas with proper details by next week. Now, all those whose names were not called out, who want to be a part of Bhakti Vriksha, who are here today, can you please let us know your names so that we can, based on the area of your stay, we can assist you by putting you in some Bhakti Vriksha. We don't want any money or joining fees for that. You can try it out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If you like it, you continue. If you don't like it, don't continue. No problem. Just come for the Sunday program. How many of you who are here, whose names were not called out, but you would like to be a part of the Bhakti Vriksha? What is your name? Shikha. So Shikha, before going, you have to meet the desk, this Mataji you meet, and give your details. Yes, Nishi. This is your first class today? Fourth class. Okay, Nishi. Thank you for coming. Nishi, आपका number आप दे दीजिएगा. Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. What's your name? Jai Shri. Very nice name. So Jai Shri. Anybody else whose name was not called? Yes. This side. Anybody whose name was not called? Your name was not called. Your name was called. Would you like to be a part of Bhakti Vriksha?
Not sure right.
What about you? Why don't you try it out?
No, the issue is that we're not staying in Bangalore.
Oh, you'll not be in Bangalore only.
We're from our hometown. So we'll be next week.
You'll come back, no, ultimately.
No, that's permanently we'll go.
Oh, what about you?
Same.
Next.
So before going, how come you came to Snehadeep? Friends. Very good. Are you happy that you came today? In Kolkata, would you like to be connected? There are many temples, one in Minto Park, one in New Town. So whichever is closer to your place of stay, you can let Snehadeep know. And I will share the details and you can always be connected with Krishna. Anybody else who would like to, whose name was not called, who would like to be a part from this side? See, we had 3-4 volunteers from that side. This side, would you like to be a part, sir? A Bhakti Vriksha? Yes? Sorry? कोई बात नहीं, हम लोग हर सैटरडे कब करते हैं हिंदी क्लासेस? संडे इवनिंग हो रहा था, फ्राइडे, संडे इवनिंग भी था. संडे इवनिंग, संडे को शाम को यहाँ पर हिंदी में कथा होती है, आप उसमें आ जाइए, ठीक है? What about you, sir?
My name called out.
You called out? Okay. What was your name? Shekhar M. Very good. Anybody else? Okay. So some names have been noted down. They would like to be a part of the Bhakti Vriksha. Thank you very much. We'd like to end today's discussion. Before ending, I would like to say, if you have any questions, you can ask those questions. If you have any doubts, the Gita course is ending. I don't know when I will meet you again. When the Sunday feast starts, we have different speakers. So I'm feeling some kind of attachment to the regular students. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yes.
So I'm a little disturbed since 2 days because I witnessed a very tragic death on the road. How does one describe untimely death of a person as per the Bhagavad Gita?
How does one describe an
I
untimely?
mean, the perspective from Bhagavad Gita. Why does a person die untimely?
See, untimely death, first of all, nobody can understand which death is timely or untimely. Only some great, actual, bona fide scientific astrologers, they can verify whether a death was timely or untimely. Somebody is destined to die in an accident. That is the case. Generally, suicide is considered as untimely death. So when you commit suicide, you enter the ghostly species of life. Ghosts by nature are very frustrated because even after dying, the desires for sense gratification is still there, but they do not have the facilities to enjoy, the provision to enjoy. So therefore they want to occupy some body, they want to trouble some people and give some miseries. And once their lifespan, suppose somebody's lifespan, destined lifespan is 80 years and they committed suicide at the age of 30, then for 50 years they have to stay in ghostly species of life, which is the worst kind of existence, let me tell you. And ultimately, when their time comes, they have to go through the punishment of committing suicide. This is the story of untimely death. Yeah, otherwise, it is very difficult to say which is timely. For example, when somebody goes to battle or wars, their body gets mutilated, head gets cut, they get shot, liver gets punctured, heart gets shot. That cannot be considered as untimely death. That is, in fact, that is a little glorious death also. They go to the heavenly planet, which is not the aim, which is not the aim of Bhakti Yoga, but yes, those who die fighting in a battle, they go to the heavenly planetary systems and spend some time doing sense gratification, and then they again take birth in little, aristocratic or pure families, and they continue their life from the point they left. Sometimes it is predetermined that somebody will die falling from the terrace and their head opening up, or somebody will die in an accident, or somebody will die with cancer. All this is predestined sometimes. It does not matter how you die, it does not matter in which way you die. It matters with which consciousness you are dying. My dear friend, please understand that the death rate is 100%. Everybody who has taken birth will surely die. For a Pandit or for a knowledge man, it does not matter in which way you die. Death is sure to come. There is no such thing as good death or bad death. Death is death. Death is death, and death is only a devotee of Krishna will welcome death. All others will hate death. They will be horrified by death. That's why Krishna says, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Those who have not led a Krishna conscious life, Krishna says, I come in front of them in the form of death, and I take away everything, including their entire existence and their identity in one shot. So that is very painful. So death is always death. There is no such thing as good death. Oh, he died a good death, peaceful death. He died a very miserable death. No, death is death. How it comes, it doesn't. For example, shirt is shirt. How it gets torn, how does it matter? Somebody's shirt will get torn by getting stuck in a door. Somebody's shirt will get torn by some children. Somebody's shirt will get torn, some wear and tear in the train or whatever. It has to be changed. The body has to be changed. So, dhiras tatrana muhyati. When an advanced spiritual practitioner sees the soul changing its body, he does not get bewildered. Dhira, he is a dhira. Imagine what Arjuna would have seen. So many people dying in front of him. Somebody in the battlefield would have fallen down and a chariot, the wheel of a chariot would have gone on the neck of a person. Horrible things they must have seen. Dhiras tatrana muhyati. However, if we see such a death happening, our responsibility is to pray for that person. We were distributing books on the Hope Farm signal. There is one temple there. It's not an authorized or a bona fide temple. It's just some mental concoction. They have just put the photo of someone and they've given that person a name and worshipping. Nobody even knows. I've tried to find out who is this so-called person. Nobody knows also. Somebody made a temple, we are just showing agarbatti. On the day of 1st January, they brought a very big-sized goat, taller than my, coming to my chest height. And they took that goat in front of that temple and they killed. The goat was passing stool and passing urine. It was crying. It was shaking. It knew that I am going to get killed. The goat never wanted to die. But they went and sacrificed that goat and they called it as Bali. They held the head of the goat in one hand and the body of the goat in one hand, and dragging they went with blood spilt all over the road. It was a huge crowd. We were just 3 of us. We were not in a position to stop that. They wouldn't have listened to us. They would have told, mind your own business, get lost. It's Kali Yuga. Nobody listens to good advice. But at that time we were praying for that goat. We were discussing that the process of Bali means you sacrifice an old animal and by the power of mantras you bring that animal back to life. And in that way you pass the litmus test of being a qualified Brahmana so that you can do the yajna. This is the custom of Bali. Just like you give an entrance exam, so the Brahmanas who are coming to perform the yajna, they used to perform Bali and bring back that animal to life in a newer, younger body, just to show that I am a qualified Brahmana. This is the custom of Bali. But in Kali Yuga, there are no such qualified Brahmanas, and there are no such yajnas, and there are no such knowledge. People only know how to cut and eat. That is not Bali, that is not sacrifice. Do you think Krishna will be very pleased when you do that? So when you see something unfortunate happening, which you think is unfortunate, then you can pray for that. Like we were all praying for that goat. We stopped our book distribution for some time. We chanted Hare Krishna. We remembered the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we prayed for that goat. That, my dear Lord, we do not know what is the karma of that goat after this body, which body it is supposed to get. But we pray that you kindly take complete care of the spiritual transmigration of the soul of this goat. If possible, give the soul a human body in next lives and give it birth in a family of devotees. Like that we were praying. So similarly, we can always pray. Somebody, one of our friends posted in our congregation group that their uncle is passing away, so pray. So we all prayed. So our duty is to pray. And not just for dying people or untimely deaths. Even when you are walking on the road, you see a snail, you should pray for that snail. So, if you see a dog, the Vedic scriptures say that those who are very lusty, they get a dog's body in their next life. Whenever you see a dog, you pray for the dog. That may you be engaged in the service of Krishna in some way. So why just pray for dying people? Pray for the people who are dying every moment while living. As a dog or as a cat or as a human being or as a chief minister or as a politician. Pray for everybody. And then you will realize that the world is so miserable and my miseries are so less. And that day truly, when you are not overwhelmed by your own miseries, but you really feel for others' miseries, that day truly you will become a preacher. Before that, you cannot preach because the compassion is not there in your heart. Compassion only comes when we pray for others and when we feel for others. But while we feel for others, dhiras tatra na muhyati. We cannot be bewildered. We should feel that yes, someone is dying, someone is in difficulty, but I should not become disturbed. I should treat the material disease which the person is suffering from by following the teachings of the acharyas like Prabhupada. Naito we will see ki I went to treat him and I only got affected. And that is not good. Okay, does this answer your question?
So basically it's difficult to accept at the stage that I am at the moment.
Yeah. See, nothing happens without the will of Krishna. This you have to understand. Not even a blade of grass moves without the will of Krishna. Everything has the sanction of Krishna. And Krishna is everybody's best well-wisher. No matter what you see, ultimately Krishna will take care. Because helplessly He loves us. No matter what we do, there is no sin which we can do and be ignored by Krishna for the rest of eternity. No. Whatever nonsense we do, Father is Father. He will take care. This will give you some peace. There is no such thing as eternal condemnation. Even the terrorists who are doing so much trauma and causing so much destruction, Krishna has some plan for them. Krishna has plans for Hiranyakashipu, Krishna has plans for Acyuta Arjunasakha Das, Krishna has plans for Snehadeep. For everybody He has a plan. Please don't feel bad that I clubbed you in the category of Hiranyakashipu, but Krishna has a plan for everybody. Okay? Any other questions, comments? Yes? I think we can, the question and answers are done. You continue.